This week on Morning Mika, sticking the landing on mental health.
It's been a long week. It's been a long Olympic process. It's been a long year. So just a lot of different variables, and I think we're just a little bit too stressed out. But we should be out here having fun, and sometimes that's not the case. Yeah, I say put mental health first, because if you don't, then you're not going to enjoy your sport and you're not going to succeed as much as you want to. So it's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself, because it shows how strong of a competitor and person that you really are, rather than just battle through it.
Remember that Olympic champion Simone Biles 3 years ago when she quit the Summer Games to focus on her mental health. The most decorated gymnast of all time transcended her sport and did something heroic. Breaking news, everybody. You don't need to be a star athlete to step off the work-life balance beam. You can take time off, and then, yes, you can come back bigger and better. I'm Mika Brzezinski here with Simone Sanders Townsend, Huma Abedin, and Jen Psaki. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to have a Trump-free show today. This week, we're taking a look at new research that finds more and more women are taking leaves of absence from work for mental health distress. According to ComPsych, mental health-related leaves of absence in the workplace are surging. The new research shows a 300% spike between 2017 and 2023. And get this, they're up 33% in 2023 alone. So that's a lot. What's behind this? According to Forbes Women, more and more women are feeling signs of depression and anxiety at work. Many report a pervasive sense of being stressed, overwhelmed, undersupported, and in some cases simply not understood by the people around them. Looking into why this is happening is a whole different show. But I think this would be a great topic for us about the ask, especially because at Know Your Value, I speak and teach women a lot about negotiating, not just negotiating equal pay or getting a really good salary. It's about self-advocating or negotiating for your own success and longevity in the workplace. And the key to great negotiating starts with building relationships so that when you're in there for the big ask, it isn't the first time you've ever confronted an issue with a colleague or a boss and they know you. Women tend to, and I wonder if you all agree with this, we tend to white knuckle our personal problems, or as you heard Simone Biles say in the clip, battle through it. I think we're worried about being judged. Presenting anything less than a perfect 10 would fare badly for us, and that, I don't know, people will think badly of us. I promise you, men don't think that way. And now, more and more women are showing their vulnerability and strength, like Simone, by asking and saying what they need. So the one bit of good news in this ComPsych research is that apparently women are not only asking for the leave, some of them are actually getting it. We need more of this. I would argue we need across the board mental health leave and also maternity and paternity leave across the board. But in terms of asking for help or asking for time off, I learned by almost losing everything. Asking for leave would have been so much less painful, in my case, for myself and my family. So I have another Morning Mika confessional. Hope that's okay with you guys.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna ask you to share too, but this one's pretty personal. You turn back the clock more than 10 years. I'm hosting Morning Joe. That's getting up at 3:30 in the morning, a commute, early, long hours. My parents both started having a lot of age-related illnesses. 2 teenagers presenting their own sets of challenges that teens do. And a divorce was in my future. And the only thing that I did every day for a sense of normalcy was run. I had been a runner all of my life, and it's what I did every day that made me feel good, sort of like in control, the one thing that happened at the same time every day. But during that time, where I was just really, really worn down, exhausted, having trouble sleeping and dealing with multiple dynamics going on in my life, what I didn't notice is that my running had turned to walking. And that walking was because there was so much weight on me. I just couldn't run. My legs couldn't do it. And add to that, I was crying. So I was walking the streets of Bronxville, New York, crying every day. And I didn't even really notice it. I would just do the thing to go on my run, put the shoes on, start running, and then I'd just walk and cry. And I will tell you, a perfect stranger shocked me into understanding that I needed to do something. This guy drives up to me, pulls down his window, and I'm thinking, oh God, somebody recognizes me at this terrible time. How could this be? And he goes, hi, my name is Peter, and I'm a therapist. And he goes, I've been seeing you every day crying. And you need to know that it is not okay to cry that much and not deal with it. And you should get some help. And then he just drove off. Yeah. And I will tell you, that was like one of those moments where you're like, oh my God, wow, this is like I'm wearing this on the outside, obviously. I had been an imposter on the show, an imposter in front of my kids, an imposter trying to deal with the disappointment I felt I was giving everybody. And I did go get help. I also ended up getting some sleep medication and really working on sleep and mindfulness. And I talked a little bit to my boss at the time about needing a break here and there, and slowly but surely got the help I need to sort of pull myself back together and be strong for the challenges ahead. So that's my story. I think we can do better. I think I should have taken time off long before that moment, and it would have spared a lot of people a lot of trouble. So your turn to share, ladies of Morning Mika. I'm sure none of your situations are extreme as mine, but Jen, I mean, especially working in the White House with little kids, was it ever too much?
Yeah, I mean, many times. And I think, and I so relate to what you were saying, I think I was aggressively nodding, as we all were, about how women often think we have to just suck it up and plow forward. And I certainly have had many years, I will say, of my career where I have done exactly that. Certainly as being a mom in the White House, not because anyone was telling me I had to do that, but because I had a fear of missing out, fear of not being in the meeting, fear of showing that I had some vulnerability. And it really took me getting a little older and realizing vulnerability is also strength, and the ability to show that. And the story you just told is strength, your ability to tell that story. It's not weakness. I will say, for me, Mika, there's been so many moments, but as you were telling that story, I remember even before I had kids, I had this epiphany when I was on a trip with Secretary Kerry, when he was Secretary of State, where I had run so much, because I'm also a runner, that I had fractured bones in my foot, which I had not taken the time to go to the doctor for. And running was mental health, right? Running was mental health and getting you through a period of time. I had not taken the time to go to a doctor. It took a friend of mine who was a doctor saying, you need an x-ray and you also need a boot on your foot, when she looked at it. So I'm on this trip. We're in war zones. It's a 10-day trip. I have the boot on my foot. My tooth fell out because I had a crown.
Oh my gosh, that happened to me.
Yeah,
oh
see,
my gosh.
this is like, I had a crown, a temporary crown. I mean, a temporary crown in my tooth that I had not taken care of. And I share all of this because all of that was the result of mental health and not dealing with things in your life, like your own physical health too, that you should be dealing with. And I remember I was in a war zone somewhere, or a conflict zone. I had a tooth in a baggie and my foot was in a boot. And I was thinking,
a tooth in a boot.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You know? But I didn't. I mean, the thing is, I think you could probably all relate to this. I didn't leave the trip.
Oh, no.
I just kept plowing through it. And it's really taken me years to look back at that story and recognize that's not helping anyone. It would have been better for everybody on the trip if somebody else had been on the trip, right? Who could be there and be present and be physically and mentally there. And so I've had many moments, but that's probably my more humorous, absurd recollection as you were telling your own story.
Totally absurd, and I can see you addressing the press and smiling in a big black hole.
With a baggie and like a boot. I mean, it was
not
ridiculous.
Okay. All right, Huma, try and top that.
Jen, I already know your next book is going to be called A Tooth and a Boot, and it's perfect.
Guys.
But, you know, the thing about all four of us is I cannot imagine any of us saying, stop, get me off this train, as much as we may have wanted and felt it over the years. And just like Jen said, I've had so many moments professionally during work where it has been too much, and I've never had the confidence really to say, okay, it's too much and I can't do it. And I guess for me, the big moment was when I had my son, and to remind everybody, there's no paid maternity leave in government, and so I used up my vacation time and my sick days, and which I was forced to by my superiors, my chief of staff and the Secretary of State at the time, Hillary Clinton, to say, take this time off. And I remember coming back to Washington with my infant baby because there was this big strategic meeting, which I normally would have run. And so I come back, and I was nursing Jordan, and I pumped milk in the morning, and I stored at night. I stored it in the fridge at the hotel. Show up at the office the next day with my baby, oohing and ahhing with everybody, and they said, the First Lady happens to be in the State Department today. Do you want to bring your baby to meet him? I was so excited. I was just worried that he might, vomit on her. And then when she showed up wearing a white dress, I was even more nervous. In all of this, I didn't realize that I left my milk at the hotel. And when I called back to the hotel, they said they had thrown out what we call, those of us who have nursed babies, called liquid gold, was all gone. And that's all he was eating and feeding at the time. And so I remember going into Cheryl Mills's office, and Jen, you've been in this office. I was shaking in my boots saying, I can't run this meeting. I don't even know what to do. The only way I can make it through this meeting is to feed my child. And Cheryl just turns and looks at me and said, so? And sure enough, here I was with Jake Sullivan and Philippe Reines and a bunch of men and Hillary, and I nursed my baby. And, I spent 20 minutes thinking I couldn't do it, but having that sort of support around you saying it's fine, and in the end, it was fine. I did survive.
What a model.
And Jordan did not throw up.
Story. Okay, Simone, you're up.
I love that. Okay, so Mika, your story made me think of I had a similar experience. My dad died in 2017 unexpectedly. He had a stroke at the gym of all places, and then 2 weeks later he was gone. And I did not take time off. I actually went right back to work for all of the reasons that we've all pushed ourselves, right? Like, I can't take time off. I don't want to miss these things. I don't want anybody to think I can't handle it. I'm fine. And I was pushing myself very hard for months. And, I didn't know it at the time, but I was in fact depressed. I didn't want to spend time by myself. So I would load up my calendar. I would take all of the speaking engagements. I would go out and I would party late. And it was just so much. I was missing flights. I was doing all kinds of things. And I just remember being in the airport because I missed the flight, okay? And I'm sitting in the airport, and a friend of mine who, we're not close friends, but, she's someone that knows me quite well. She calls me. Hadn't heard from her in a few months. And I say, I answer the phone. I say, hey, what's going on? And she said, girl, I heard your daddy died. Are you okay? And I just break down sobbing, crying in the airport. The lady next to me grabs her stuff, goes 3 seats over. She didn't know in that moment I needed some consoling. And my friend on the phone, she says, you need to see someone. You need to see a therapist. You need to get help. 2 weeks later, a mentor of mine takes me to dinner and tells me the same thing. She introduces me to a grief counselor, and that grief counselor ended up not being the person for me, but the therapist was. And that's when I found out that I was depressed, and I had been depressed for about a year. I was fighting, making the decision every day to okay, I'm gonna get up out of the bed, and every day was a struggle. And I remembered that experience when I was at the White House. And when I decided to leave the White House, it was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make, because I love my job. I love the people that I worked with. I love the president and the vice president, but I had been hopping on and off planes for about 3 years. We did a campaign in the middle of COVID, went straight to the transition, where because of COVID, the footprint was even smaller. Therefore, a few of us did a lot more. And I was cranky some days. I was just not a happy camper at home. And I had gotten engaged during this time. And I looked up that summer and I said, I need to make a decision. Like, if I want to go into, spend these next couple of months and the next year going into my wedding like this, or if I need to take a step back for myself and for my mental health. And I made the decision that I needed to take a step back. And I remember going in and having my conversation with the vice president, and she had not once, at not any point, tried to convince me that, I really didn't need all that time. She didn't do any of that. She completely understood what I was saying about my mental health, about being tired, about wanting to go into, enjoy planning my wedding, enjoy going into my marriage. And she completely supported me. And I know that that is not everyone else's, we've all had an experience of being supported, and that was not everybody, that's not always everyone's experience. But I'm absolutely grateful that it was mine and my story. And I just remember powering through when my father died, and my breakdown and my depression, and I never wanted to go back to that place again. And so shout out to the stranger that pulled up next to you on your
what an
walk/run, right? Thankful to that friend that called me in the airport, because those people, I think that they saved my life.
Yeah, it's such an important message, what you're saying, and about not having the support or not getting the reaction that you got from the Vice President, Simone. We're going to talk about that coming up. But the bottom line is here, ask for what you need. Build relationships. Work for the long haul. Because remember, you have a long runway. I've taught you that. You have the time to get everything done. Simone Biles, by the way, is having an extremely successful 2023-2024 season after taking a 2-year break to prioritize her mental health. She dominated at the U.S. Gymnastics Championship this past weekend, winning her 9th all-round title ahead of this summer's Paris Olympic Games, where she is going for gold. And also, knowing your value is about getting value back in every relationship, yet you have to build that rapport where there's that exchange of ideas, support, and trust in your work. Your bosses need to trust that you are dedicated to your work, and they need to see that and hear you talk about it. And then the ask feels natural. In fact, quite frankly, if you're that good, they're going to help you. They're going to make sure you have what you need. And you're more likely to get the support you need so you can feel good about what you're doing for you. And like Simone Biles, the longevity and success of your career is all up to you. So coming up, we're taking your questions on this. I asked on social media what questions you had for the 4 of us about the big ask at work. We answer those next when Morning Mika returns.